Samsung Galaxy versus iPhone, a rivalry as iconic as Coke versus Pepsi, Ford versus Chevy, and Marvel versus. For years, the iPhone was the undisputed king of smartphones. But recently, Samsung Galaxy has not only caught up, but in many ways, surpassed the iPhone. Yet, despite the undeniable advancements from Samsung, some die-hard iPhone users continue to spread misinformation, clinging to the belief that Apple's dominance remains unchallenged. Today, we're going to dive deep into this shift in the smartphone landscape, explore why Samsung has taken the lead, and discuss what Apple needs to do if it wants to reclaim the top spot. If you're an iPhone user, you might be shaking your head right now thinking, "No way, Apple is still the best." But stick around. I'm going to challenge that belief and show you why Samsung is making a race out of this and how the iPhone can come back and reclaim its crown. Hey everybody, open-minded neutral here, where I'm dive deep into the issues that matter most, always with an open mind and a neutral stance. Whether it's breaking down the culture wars, dissecting entertainment trends, or exploring the intersection of politics and everyday life, I'm here to bring you thoughtful, balanced insights that challenge the status quo. But before I dive into today's topic, if you appreciate content that goes beyond the surface, don't forget to like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new here or haven't yet, make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on my latest discussions. Let's get into it. Samsung Galaxy versus iPhone. For years, the iPhone has been seen as the gold standard of smartphones, but in recent times, Samsung's Galaxy series has not only caught up, but arguably surpassed Apple. Yet, despite this shift, some die-hard iPhone users are still clinging to outdated myths about Android, particularly Samsung Galaxy phones. Let's break down why Apple needs to step up its game if it wants to reclaim the top spot. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to the beginning. The rivalry between Samsung and Apple has been one of the most intense in tech history. The iPhone revolutionized the smartphone market when it was introduced in 2007, setting a new standard for what a phone could be. Meanwhile, Samsung was still finding its footing, releasing phones that, while innovative, didn't quite measure up to the iPhone. But Samsung didn't back down. With the release of the Galaxy S series in 2010, they began to close the gap. Fast forward to today, and the Galaxy S24 Ultra is considered one of the best smartphones on the market, if not the best. Now, how did both companies get to this point? To answer that, we need to take a trip back. The rise of one company and the decline of the other. The rise of Samsung Galaxy. Let's rewind a bit and take a quick look at how Samsung got here. When the first Galaxy S launched in 2010, it was clear that Samsung was aiming to take on the iPhone. Fast forward to today, and Samsung is not just a competitor, it's a leader in innovation. From the introduction of Super AMOLED screens to pioneering foldable technology with the Galaxy Z series, Samsung has been at the forefront of mobile technology. And let's not forget the S Pen, wireless power share, and those incredible zoom lenses that make you feel like a professional photographer. But it's not just about the features. Samsung's software has matured over the years with One UI, offering a user experience that's both intuitive and highly customizable. Samsung's focus on creating an ecosystem with products like Galaxy Buds, Galaxy Watch, and seamless integration with Windows PCs shows they're serious about providing a comprehensive experience, much like what Apple does with its ecosystem. Samsung entered the smartphone market with the ambition to rival the iPhone, but it wasn't an easy journey. The early Galaxy models were often criticized for being mere imitators, struggling to match the iPhone's polish and user experience. However, Samsung quickly learned, adapted, and innovated. By the time the Galaxy S series hit its stride, it was clear that Samsung wasn't just chasing Apple. They were setting their own path. 1. Innovation and technology. Samsung has been at the forefront of smartphone innovation. From the introduction of the Super AMOLED display to the versatile S Pen in the Note series, Samsung has consistently pushed the boundaries of what a smartphone can do. Their cameras, once a weak point, now stand as some of the best in the market, rivaling and often surpassing the iPhone in terms of quality and versatility. 2. Customization and flexibility. One of the key areas where Samsung outshines Apple is in customization and flexibility. While iOS offers a streamlined and user-friendly experience, it's also quite restrictive. Samsung's One UI, on the other hand, gives users the freedom to tailor their devices to their personal preferences, from the home screen layout to app management and beyond. 3. Price and value proposition. Another factor driving Samsung's rise is their value proposition. With a range of models catering to different price points, Samsung offers high-end features without the premium price tag of an iPhone. This flexibility in pricing has allowed Samsung to appeal to a broader audience, making cutting-edge technology more accessible. While both brands offer premium devices, Samsung provides a broader range of options at various price points, making it accessible to a wider audience. And when you compare devices at similar price points, Samsung often provides better specs. Even though the Samsung Galaxy S and Z series are starting to causing more now. Seriously, if I was Apple, I'll take advantage of that. The decline of innovation at Apple. Now let's shift gears to Apple. There's no denying that the iPhone revolutionized the smartphone industry. The design, the ecosystem, the App Store. Apple set the bar high. But over the years, we've seen less and less innovation from Apple. The notch, which was introduced with the iPhone X, is still hanging around, while Samsung has moved on to hole punch and under-display cameras. The introduction of 120Hz displays on the iPhone 13 Pro was a step forward, but Samsung had already been offering high refresh rate screens for years. While Apple still excels in areas like processing power with its A-series chips and the seamless integration within its ecosystem, it's hard to ignore the fact that they've been playing it safe for quite some time now. The lack of major design overhauls and the slow adoption of technologies that competitors have already perfected is something that many tech enthusiasts are beginning to notice. Areas where Samsung surpassed Apple. So where exactly has Samsung pulled ahead? Let's break it down. 1. Display technology. Samsung's AMOLED displays have long been considered the best in the business. The dynamic range, color accuracy, and refresh rates are top-notch. While Apple's Retina displays are good, they just don't match up to what Samsung is offering with their latest Galaxy models. 2. Camera capabilities. Samsung has also taken the lead in camera technology. The Galaxy S23 Ultra's camera system, for example, is nothing short of spectacular. With features like 100x space zoom, 108 megapixel sensors, and AI enhancements, it's clear that Samsung is taking mobile photography to a whole new level. 3. Battery life and charging. When it comes to battery life and charging speeds, Samsung has once again outpaced Apple. With larger batteries and faster charging options, including wireless and reverse wireless charging, Galaxy phones offer a flexibility that iPhones lack. 4. Customization and flexibility. Samsung's One UI has become one of the most customizable and user-friendly interfaces out there. Unlike iOS, which is known for its walled garden approach, Samsung offers users the freedom to personalize their experience. From widgets to home screen layouts, Samsung gives you the tools to make your phone truly yours. 5. Innovation and form factors. Samsung's willingness to experiment with form factors, like the Galaxy Z Fold and Z Flip, shows that they're not afraid to take risks. These devices are pushing the boundaries of what smartphones can be, offering users new ways to interact with their devices. Misinformation and stereotypes about Android users. Now let's get into the heart of the issue: misinformation and stereotypes. How many times have you heard someone say, "If you use an Android, you must be broke," or "Android phones are for people who can't afford an iPhone"? This is one of the most persistent and frankly ridiculous myths. The idea that Android users are broke is not only insulting but also completely false. Samsung's flagship phones are just as expensive, if not more so, than the latest iPhones. These statements are not only outdated, they're also misleading and, frankly, a bit elitist. The reality is, Android phones, especially Samsung's Galaxy line, are premium devices that often cost just as much, if not more, than iPhones. And let's not forget, Android dominates the global smartphone market with a share of around 72%. That's not a sign of a broke user base. That's a sign of a diverse and vast ecosystem that appeals to a wide range of users. The stereotype that Android phones are outdated is another piece of misinformation that just doesn't hold up. When you look at features like 120 Hz displays, 108 megapixel cameras, and foldable designs, it's clear that Samsung is leading in innovation, not lagging. Samsung has been pushing the boundaries with each new release, offering cutting-edge hardware and software that often surpasses what Apple offers. For example, look at the Galaxy S23 Ultra's camera system compared to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The difference in zoom capabilities alone is staggering. And while it's true that Apple's ecosystem is tight-knit, Samsung's ecosystem has grown tremendously with Galaxy devices, SmartThings, and seamless integration with Windows PCs. The need for Apple to step up. So where does this leave Apple? Well, if Apple wants to reclaim its position as the undisputed leader in the smartphone world, it's going to need to step up its game. That means more than just incremental updates and slightly improved cameras. Apple needs to innovate in ways that capture the imagination again, much like they did when the iPhone first launched. Apple's strength has always been in its ability to create a seamless experience across its products, and there's no denying that it still does this incredibly well. But in a world where consumers are becoming more tech-savvy and demanding more from their devices, Apple can't afford to rest on its laurels. Whether it's by embracing foldable technology, offering more customization options, or just taking more risks with design and functionality, something needs to change. So, with all this in mind, what does Apple need to do to reclaim the top spot? Here are a few areas where Apple could seriously improve. 1. Innovation and risk-taking. Apple needs to take more risks. Whether it's with new form factors, camera technology, or even just offering more customization options in iOS, the time for playing it safe is over. 2. Value proposition. With the rising cost of living and global economic pressures, consumers are more price-conscious than ever. Apple needs to either justify its high prices with groundbreaking features or offer more competitive pricing. 3. Expanding the ecosystem. While Apple's ecosystem is strong, it's also exclusive and limited. Samsung's approach of partnering with other brands and embracing cross-platform compatibility is something Apple should consider if it wants to appeal to a broader audience. Why this matters? At the end of the day, this isn't just about Samsung versus Apple. It's about the importance of competition in driving innovation. When companies push each other to be better, we, the consumers, win. But when one company dominates the narrative with outdated stereotypes and misinformation, it stifles that competition. It's time to recognize that Android, and specifically Samsung, has not only caught up but, in many ways, surpassed the iPhone. And it's time for iPhone users to acknowledge that Android isn't the underdog it once was. So, whether you're Team Samsung or Team iPhone, the most important thing is to make an informed choice based on your needs and preferences, not on outdated stereotypes or brand loyalty. The tech world is constantly evolving, and it's exciting to see where it will go next. As we look to the future, it's clear that the smartphone market is entering a new phase. Samsung has proven that they can out-innovate Apple, but the competition is far from over. With emerging technologies like AI, AR, and 5G, the next few years will be crucial in determining who leads the market. Will Apple make a comeback, or will Samsung continue to dominate? One thing's for sure, the battle between Samsung and Apple is far from settled. The only question that remains is, who will come out on top? Conclusion. So, what does the future hold for smartphones? With foldables becoming more mainstream, AI integration getting smarter, and augmented reality starting to take off, the next few years are going to be exciting. But 2024 has shown us that the smartphone race is no longer a two-horse race. Google Pixel's rise, along with strong competition from other brands, means that consumers have more choices than ever. And there you have it. 2024 has been a pivotal year in the smartphone race. Whether you're a die-hard Apple fan, a Samsung enthusiast, or someone looking to try something new with Google Pixel or another brand, there's never been a better time to be a smartphone user. Can we stop with the misleading information and stereotypes, thinking every Android phone is Obama phone you see in the street corner and where broke people get for free? Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive into the Samsung Galaxy versus iPhone debate. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more tech discussions, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. And of course, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the current state of smartphones? Do you think Samsung has surpassed Apple, or is there still a long way to go? And what do you guys think about the other smartphones out there like Google Pixel, OnePlus, and Xiaomi? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay tech savvy. And like always, stay safe and stay open-minded.